start the recording. We have other type of file called Power BI dataset files. Okay, Power BI dataset files. In this case, what happened, right? Once you publish your report on cloud, you can, you can import that file into your Power BI desktop. And then what you do is you can use all the tables that are available as part of the report. Okay, simple. Look here. This is your Power BI desktop, right? Power BI desktop. And this is your Power BI cloud service. This is on cloud, okay? This is on cloud. And you have developed one report. That report you already published on cloud. Okay? So in that case, what happens is, let's you publish it once, that's it. And this report, the same report needs to be reused by other developers. Okay, in your team, project team, let's say you have 4 developers are there, report developers, and five report people are there. 5 people are there in your offshore team. So one guy did all the things, all the tables that are required to create the reports that are required by these 5 guys or 4 guys. Okay, so let's say you have a team lead, and and the remaining 4 people are like report developers, and your team leader, what it does is the one responsible for loading all the data that are required for these 4 developers to start do the report design, everything. And you do the data model design, everything. As for you load the data and then you do the data model design, everything. So in this case, let's say, this report file let's assume that 10 dimension tables are there. In addition to the 2 Excel files, he loaded it. And also 2 fact tables are there. So overall 10 plus 2, 4, 12, and then you have 2 flat files, 14 files, he loaded it here. Okay, fine. And then what he does, he did data model design, everything, and then he published the report on cloud. Now what he says is, hey guys, here is the URL. You can go to that cloud service and import the my report file, and you're all set. You can start do the report design. So in that case, what happens is the advantage of Power BI data set files, or like you specify all the connections for the tables, everything you mentioned, the server name, the username, password. And if you are using only one source file, if you are using multiple sources, in that case, you should know the server name, the username, password to access those servers. Okay, in that case, you don't, the rest of the 4 developers, they don't have to be aware of this one. Rest of them, they don't have to be aware of these connections, everything. One second, let me just. Okay, they don't aware of this one, because one team lead, he did everything. Okay, so he specified the server name, username, and then he loaded all the tables, and then he created a data model design and then pushed it here. The same file can be imported by the rest of the developers, and then they are up and running. Once all the tables are available, they're up and running. I'll just show you. But the challenge with the Power BI dataset file is you're not supposed to use any other files except Power BI IDS. So in this case, we can have a mix of all the files. You have the Excel file, and you have the tables, and you have the JSON files, right? You have a mix of all the types of files. You can have it in the typical, in this case, okay? But when it comes to Power BI dataset files, the challenge is you need to have, you're not supposed to load any other file along with PBIDS. It will not work. And if I try to load it here, for example, I just go in Power BI datasets. So now what happens, it connected to my cloud, Power BI cloud service. Since I already mentioned the username and password, it directly connects there. Otherwise, if you're a first-time user, it will ask you the username and password to connect to your Power BI cloud service. So now, okay, now you might be asking, how do I create the username, password? For that, you need to have the official email. Otherwise, you will not be able to do it. Anyway, let us not worry about that at this moment. Okay, let us focus on the concept point of view. Okay, how it works on things. So what I do is, okay, I just click on this one. This report I already published it. I just click on OK, and then okay. So now it was showing some message, right? Yeah, I did not read it. Simply I blindly okay. Or listen row level security. I click on look here. Your file already contains data from another source. To add another data connection, turn on the preview for data direct query for Power BI. So yeah, options and settings, options. Okay, now they've given something else, right? Options, preview features. Okay, this is, and then I think the latest version. Okay, so this is what thing. Okay, in the file, click on the file menu. You will find the options and settings, and here you will have something called the options or option and settings. One second, it was showing that options only. Okay, and I just go here, file menu, in this options settings, and then options. Just wait for some time. Now you have something called the Power Query Editor. See, direct connection to this data, published data set, right? It is not, enabled it here. So what you need to do is just close this file and save it, close this file and open a new file, different report file. The advantage of this Power BI dataset files, you don't have to be aware of the source system, server name, username, and password. Instead, simply go and download the report which got published on cloud by your team leader. That's all. But it will not, once you download that report from your cloud to your Power BI desktop, you cannot load any other file. Here I am going to say, click on cross here, get data here. And data here, Power BI data sets. Let's wait for some time. Yes, so look here, this is a fresh Power BI file where I did not load any data, and I just connected to the Power BI datasets, which means I connect to the cloud. And don't worry about this part, I will show you later. Okay, just select this file. That's the report file. Actually, when you publish a report, along with that, the data will also get loaded automatically. That loaded data, right? That is part of your Power BI itself. For example, if you load a CSV file in the Power BI desktop, that CSV data, the comma zero value file data will get loaded into your Power BI desktop itself, and also the data will become part of this file itself. Look here, in this report data file, we have two data sets are there. So, okay, as a developer, now what I'm going to do, these two files were loaded by my team lead. And look here, we can see only two icons in the case of Power BIDS. You cannot see the data. And look here, on top of each table, you can see the blue colored line. So it is a live data. Okay, you just establish a live connection to your cloud service. the relationship, everything got created, and the data, you cannot see it. You don't have to see it, okay? But the data model, I'm seeing, look here, if I click on it, if I keep the cursor over, it shows, which tables got, which columns got, look here, both the column, date and order date. Can you see that? Date and order date. These two tables got, linked with the date columns, date and order date. And if I try to change this one, right click on it, right click, and it's not working. And if I press a del, I cannot delete the column. I cannot rename the column name. I cannot delete this one. The other advantages, you have a centralized control. If I allow all the 4 developers, or in the real time, you have 10 developers to make a changes to this one, it will cause a mess. Mistakenly, you have deleted this relationship, and then you realized as a developer, oh man, I deleted my team lead will, you will shout. So hurry, burry, you drag and drop, wrong column, right? So date to order date, you need to create relationship. But date to order period, if you create it, the report will not work. But if I share this kind of file, wherein you have only read-only access, right? There will be better control, right? There is centralized control. It's something like in a family, the family head only is responsible for opening the cash box, right? And we see still in the traditional families, right? Only the father, he will go and open the locker in a house, and he is the one taking the money out, and he'll lock it. So only 1% or 2% in the house, they will have the key in it. Likewise, you will have a better control here. No changes, other except the team lead, rest of them cannot make changes to the structure or relationship. Only thing is, as a developer, simply download this one. I go and click on the visuals. What are the charts that I needed? I create the, do the design, everything. Okay, instead of loading the data, you don't have to have the data. Look here, first of all, you cannot load the data along with Power BI data set files. Okay, you can work only with the Power BI data set files. You cannot load any other file along with the Power BI data set files. The calendar sales, if you want to load any other file, you cannot do it. Remember this, okay? And here's some Power BI template apps. This one probably I will discuss it later. At this moment, let's not worry about this. That's all. This is what your Power BI data set file. The advantages are you don't have to load each and every file. You don't have to be aware of the connection details. It's all pre-wired in the case of Power BI data set files. And also there will be a centralized control. The developers cannot make changes to the data model, and they don't have any access to the data. They cannot view the data. And it is also called as a live connection. Fine. Any questions so far? Pravat, now you can ask, no? Pravat or Sumit and Jivanandam, yeah, and other people. Arvind dropped and Monica dropped. Okay. Okay, so I hope you understood what is PBIDS. In the interview, they'll ask you what is a live connection. Anyhow, we will discuss about